And our first story, the chairman of the Council of Elders of the New Patriotic Party has mounted a strong defense for the decision by the party's council to suspend its chairman, Paul Afoko.
Mr. Afoko was suspended following a petition by the two party members against his conduct as chairman. Speaking at a news conference in Accra, however, the chairman of the party's Council of Elders, C.K. Tedem, said Mr. Afoko showed gross disrespect to the leaders of the party.
Afoko's activities were such, he was not coming to the meetings, he wasn't calling meetings at the right time. They appealed, even they petitioned. The steering committee members petitioned. I read the letter myself. Even as a member of the steering committee, I also signed it. We presented to him, and he would not turn up. We did everything possible to get him in. Then meetings, we called the executive members, we called the regional chairman to a meeting at the party headquarters. He said we should rather come to his private office at Osu. And all the members refused. We tried all possible means to get him in. So the unity was disintegrated. Every time we thought he should call a meeting, he would call it at hotels. And he has to choose his hotel, and he would bring all sorts of people, semi-military, to surround the place. We didn't feel we were a party. We were like prisoners being escorted together to be talked to by the chairman. So we all said no, we will not want it that way. So our idea by calling him was to address him as a son who will cooperate so that the party will move together and unity will be for all Ghanaians, especially for our own party. He has not been working in the interest of the party because clearly they are not supporting Nana's move. And we find that that is not going to help us. Our belief is firmly that with Paul Afoko aside out of the chair, there will be complete uniformity. And you can notice this, that at the National Steering Committee, I was there. At the National Executive, which asked him to step aside, I was there. And we all decided unanimously, no dissension. We did not say A or B did not support. Everybody supported. Everybody supported the decision we took.
The Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission is up in the news because its parent union, the Public Utility Workers Union, has taken a swipe at the Ghana Water Company Limited for its involvement in the agreement with the FISA Desalination Development Group to help transform seawater into potable water for Teshi and its environs.
According to the union, the agreement has a number of lapses, including a 1.4 million Ghana cedis monthly electricity bill, which will, in the long run, bring down the Ghana Water Company Limited to its knees. The group is asking President John Dramani Mahama to review the agreement to save the Ghana water from collapsing. Michael Nyantechi, who is later on our guest to expand on the issues, is Deputy General Secretary of the Public Utility Workers Union.
Currently, we have realized that the agreement is totally skewed in the interest of BEFISA as against Ghana Water Company. And some of the key terms of the agreement are just not acceptable. One, you realize that the private company, which BEFISA is using electricity for its operations. And Ghana Water Company has to pay for the cost of the electricity the private sector man is using. So averagely every month, Ghana Water pays about 1.4 million for electricity alone. Then in addition, you realize that the agreement also stipulates that the water BEFISA is producing is sold to Ghana Water at the cost of the cedi equivalent of $1.50. And Ghana Water, by the PURC tariff arrangement in place now, can sell the water only at the cedi equivalent of 59 cents. So you can imagine the huge deficit that occurs per meter cube of water that is. This agreement should be reviewed, else Ghana Water stands in a danger. And if Ghana Water should crumble we can imagine what will happen to the whole country.
What would you do if nothing comes out of this quest?
Well, we have formally, as a union, written to His Excellency the President, drawing his attention to these challenges. And we are waiting, hoping that in the next few months, maybe there will be a response. But if there is no response, and we see also that the progress on the other project is accelerating, then the workers' leadership will meet and re-strategize.
Wholly Ghanaian-owned telecoms company AfriWave, contracted by government to operate an interconnect clearinghouse (ICH), has engaged the services of Belgian company Machine Solutions to help clamp down on Simbox fraudsters.
The company, which has the primary task to verify all mobile communications in order to ensure revenue assurance for government, has given assurances it is ready to operate. Chief Executive of AfriWave, Philip Soa, says curtailing the activities of these fraudsters will save the country much-needed revenue.
We've contracted a company called Machine Solutions to help us with Simbox fraud. Some of the operators use them, but then typically most operators do between 20 or between 15 and 30,000 calls a month to track Simbox fraud. We will be doing 400,000 calls. That means that we'll have a large number of calls coming to the country to track Simbox fraud. Basically, the way it works is that somebody with, let's say, a US or UK number calls a local number, and it shows up as a local 024, 026, or 020 number. So they know that number is a Simbox fraud. So now we'll be deploying about 400,000 calls a month to track this, and then we should catch a lot of them. And then there's a phase 2 and phase 3 where we would also improve our monitoring. The main thing right now is we want to minimize it by stopping as much of the fraud as we can.
Well, we'll have to go on to the subject of mainstream economy, and the current limited supply of Ghana cedis in circulation is having a toll on other financial institutions apart from commercial banks.
The challenge has come about because of measures by the central bank to mop up what it calls excess cedis in circulation to check inflation and the depreciation of the local currency. Managing Director of AFB, Arnold Parker, says the situation could worsen the high cost of credit for small businesses.
The crunch has already started. A lot of institutions are actually not lending at the moment. So SMEs are already finding it very hard to access funds from the financial institutions. The President has said that he's committed to 0% deficit financing next year. Would wait to see how that promise is honored. We'll be glad if it is, because then it would actually begin to signal for the market rates to come down. Then these fears would not materialize. So yes, IMF, but the President has also said he's committed to ensuring that there'll be 0% deficit finance, and we hope that will be the case, because once government is not borrowing, then obviously rates will begin to fears. I think we continuously are optimistic about the outcome of the economy. Yeah, we are currently facing the challenges, but we believe that it's temporary, and we are quite very bullish about the future. Yeah.
A final year student of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has won the Schlumberger Award for the Intern Global Video Competition for this very year, 2015. Jonas
Frimpong, who was an intern, beat over 100 interns in Europe and West Africa to win the global award.
Schlumberger is one of the world's leading oilfield service companies. Ghanaian winner of the company's award for the Intern Global Video Competition says branding and persistence made all the difference for her. Joannes Frimpong's video, which is a narrative of her daily life as an intern, is due to be featured on the company's career YouTube and BlueTube channels.
It was really difficult putting it together, I won't lie, because after that time the challenge came up. I was using a YAM. I was using a YAM, a phone that can't even WhatsApp, a phone that can take photos, how much less a video. So when the challenge came up, we had like 2 weeks to deadline. I had to wait about a week before I got a phone. And even at that, I had to wait for someone offshore because the person was my only hope at the moment. Kingsley Nkrumah, that's his name, and he really helped me a lot, and I want to use the opportunity to thank him because it was his phone I used, and he also helped me in some of the videos. Well, so when I finally got it, it was also difficult getting someone to video you because Schlumberger, I mean, we're talking about Schlumberger here, it's a really, 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 really busy company. Everybody is working, so nobody has time to video you. At a point, they were saying I was siabbing. It's something they say in Schlumberger. It means like you are looking for a reason not to work. And I know myself to be a hardworking person, so when they said that, it really hurts me. So when my video won, I was so happy that I can now, in fact, I called as much as I could all the people and told them that I've won, so they will realize that I wasn't wasting my time. So yeah, I took video shots, then I took an app from a friend, Richard, and I did everything myself. I put it together, the audio effect, the video effect, the slow motion, the fast motion, everything. It was a nice experience, and I'm happy I can say now I can.
Johannes Frimpong admits she is sometimes quick-tempered, but that keeps her going. Beyond that, she attributes her achievements to talent, intelligence, and persistence. The Europe and Africa area judge of the competition, Yannick Mwamba, submitted Ms. Frimpong's video, which won her the ultimate prize.
A 5-year-old girl in Accra is in dire need of a surgical operation to correct a defect in the spine.
Doctors say Jemima Korte is suffering from juvenile scoliosis. This means her spine is continuously bending her body to one side as she advances in age. Doctors say if the defect is not corrected soon, Jemima sadly could lose her life. Emefa Atiamwa Eli spent some time with Jemima in school.
She comes across as a very lively child, but Jemima is living with a life-threatening condition. The 5-year-old girl still struggles to speak, one of the first indications that all is not well.
Girl, everybody clap for Jemima. Yeah. Yes. Good. Now Jemima is going to help us to recite a lion. Everybody go. A lion has a tail. It has a big head and a very small waist. And a very small waist. And a very small waist. And a very small waist.
Her body is curved to the left-hand side because her spine keeps shifting to the left. Doctors call this condition idiopathic scoliosis. She can only walk for very short distances. Her father has to carry her most of the time. Jemima first started showing symptoms when she was only 1 year old. Despite the difficulty, she goes to school, and her class teacher, Mercy Winnie Odamte, says Jemima is very intelligent.
The word neck. Point to the word for me, neck. Where did you march to? Point to the word neck. Now, go to the board and point to the word neck for me. Neck. Let's clap for her. Okay, that's neck.
At times, if she's not feeling well, she lie down on the table, and you see that things are not going well with her. She'll be quiet the whole day, but if she's active in class, nothing can stop her. She just behaves like the cat. Yeah.
Emmanuel Korte is Jemima's father. He says his daughter's condition makes him break down in tears anytime he sees her.
As a parent, sometimes when I look at her, I feel down. But I really go through emotional challenges. There are times I even cry. I cry. Sometimes I have to encourage my, though a man, as the progress goes, let's say go bear soon, but sometimes because of her condition, I shed tears. So that is my first daughter and a child going through this. It's not an easy thing.
Jemima's spine can be straightened out. However, orthopedic experts pegged the cost of the surgery at 94,000 Ghana cedis. Mr. Quote is a teacher and needs help to see her daughter through surgery.
Yeah, I'm appealing to the entire public to come to our aid to help us to have the surgery done for Jemima so that she can continue with her life, she can continue with her education, and be a responsible citizen in the near future.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish I let 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I let it go away. Why did you let it go? Because it bit my fingers. Which finger did it? The little finger. On my right. The little finger. On my right.
Okay, so what do you say? We help little Jemima. She's only 5. She's a cute little girl. She needs 94,000 Ghana cedis to go through that surgery. Thankfully, it can be done in Ghana. We'll give you more details as to how you can help, but let's do it. Christmas is coming. Let's do it before Christmas.
Okay, so now that'll be for the news. We'll have to look at what the stories are on the front and back pages of the newspapers as summarized on the news portal, myjoyonline.com. We'll also try to look at other stories that have been displayed on various news portals, not only on the subcontinent, but across the world as well. We know we can still get a lot more updates on how that very gentleman, former basketball star, is it Lamar Odom, is feeling. But also
are you still interested in Lamar Odom?
Well,
I thought you'd be talking FIFA, for instance.
Right. And then the subject of FIFA, and also just in the West African sub-region, the Nigerian government, apparently, its telecom regulatory agency, has sued a company, MTN, for not obeying its directive to make sure it registers subscribers. And apparently, it has about 65 million subscribers, and so have been sued in excess of some 2 or 5 billion US dollars, so to speak. That's a lot of money in the making Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A lot of money that MTN makes there.
All right, we have some elections updates as well for you here. So stay with us. That's right after this on the AM show.